Hi guys, good evening. For today's session, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay. Already, let's get started. So, we install Node.man, but it is not working. Okay, we'll see that later. So, what we'll do is we'll quickly go over the things here. Okay, so the topic for today is yesterday, like what we did, we just created some routes. Okay, so in our index.js, so we get these routes and what is middleware, and we just created different APIs like posts, users, and much more things. Okay, so that's what we did yesterday. Okay, so today, so if you go to the any APIs like post.js here. Okay, so what we did is we did everything static. Okay, so we just sent the new data. Okay, and in return we just returned ID equal to 101 and such things. Okay, so today what we'll do is we will connect our database into our Node.js. Okay, so for example, if they ask you for making a get API, okay, so we need to retrieve the records from the database and then retrieve the result. I mean, send the result as a response. Okay, so such things we will do today. Okay, so that's the agenda for today's session. So connecting to Mongo. Yes. So in order to start with that, okay, we need to connect with the MongoDB. Okay. So MongoDB, there is a package called MongoDB there. Okay. If we go to npm, can you hear me, guys? Is there any issue with my voice? Oh, okay. Just give me a second.
Hello, is it okay now? Yes, okay. So we need to connect our MongoDB and Node.js, okay, and then we'll retrieve records, or we will create a new record, or update a new record, or delete a record. Okay, so those CRUD operations we will see today. So this is the package. So MongoDB. So this is something like your. This is the one that is going to act as a driver between your Node.js and MongoDB. Okay, so let's go on and install Node.js MongoDB package here. So npm install MongoDB. Okay. So we just installed our packages. Okay. So the MongoDB package. So now let's go here and connect to our MongoDB. Okay. So in which port your MongoDB runs? So the default port for your MongoDB is exactly. So Mongo require MongoDB. I'm just going to require that package that we create. Okay. So we just imported our package. Okay. So here, so we can have here Mongo. Sorry, Mongo. Okay. This particular Mongo here, right? It has a function called. Okay. So there will be a function called connect. Okay. So it allows us to connect to our Mongo database. Okay. So mongo.connect. Okay. And you need to mention your whatever the URL that you want to place it here. Okay. So in which port our MongoDB runs? So it's 27017. Okay. So go here. So so if you go here and so the default port is 27017. I'm just going to copy this. Okay. So go here and have your URL here. Okay. So it allows us to create, connect to our MongoDB. Okay. So this is something like your client. Okay. So inside your MongoDB, okay. So there will be something called Mongo client. Okay. So let's see here, client equal to so here it is. Okay. So basically Mongo client. Okay. So if you don't want to take it in this way, okay, I will explain this in short. First, we need to understand who is the client. Okay. So here your NoSQL booster act as a client to connect to your MongoDB. Same way here we need to create a client. Okay. So you can directly use Mongo here, or you can import them from here, Mongo client, and call them directly. Okay. So whatever the thing, okay, both works as expected. Okay. So now here, so Mongo client. Okay. So once you do this, so you have mongo.connect here, right? Okay. So you can directly use your Mongo client directly, like this client.connect. Okay. And you can have your connect object here, something like this. Okay. So you just used your Mongo client. Okay. And you have just like your connect for inside that. It's like a class. Okay. So this particular class, what you need to do is it has some functionalities inside it. For example, we will be making a query. We will be making or okay. So this class, okay, we saw what is a JavaScript basic classes, right? So for example, it has something called constructor, and inside that we will have some inbuilt methods. Okay, and one such inbuilt method is nothing but your MongoDB. Okay, so your Mongo client here. Okay, so in order to create a class, okay, so what you need to do, in order to create an object from a class, what we need to do? So you are going to answer me. So I have a class here, Mongo client. Okay, basic JavaScript question. Okay, so I need to use exactly. So how to create an object? You need to use new. Okay, so new that particular Mongo client. Okay, so that's it. So what I'll do is I will store the URL here in a different variable. Okay, so I'll take it here. Okay, so I just imported my Mongo client class from my MongoDB. Okay, so this is one client. Okay, so using you, if you want to use that particular client, okay, you need to call it something like new Mongo client. Okay, so what happens here is this Mongo client we have, right? It takes a parameter. For example, for a class, this particular Mongo client will have some constructor, right? So it takes your URL as a parameter. Okay, so URL as a property. So Mongo client is a class inside your MongoDB. Okay, you need to create an instance of the particular class, new Mongo client, and you need to supply your URL. Okay, so what it means is now your client here, right? It has your, it will have your MongoDB connection. Okay, so then here, so this is the URL, and this is going to be your database name. Okay, so what is the database name that I have? I have something called Groovy in my here, right? So Groovy, and I have some post inside it. So this is what we saw on that day. So I have some post, I have some users and other things. Okay, so what I will do is I'm going to use the same database, which is something called Groovy. Okay, so the DB name is Groovy. Okay, so now we just created our things. Okay, everything is done. Okay, so in order to select that particular database, okay, so in order to select that particular database, you just initialized your constructor. Okay, so you just, this is something like an object. Okay, so if I print console.log of client, okay, see now I'm going to run this npm start. See, I told you, right? It's going to be a class, and it has multiple properties inside it. Your Mongo client class, okay, and you just initialized with some variable here. Okay, URL. Okay, what is the URL? It takes a URL as a parameter, and in return it will give you an object. Okay, so this is the object. Okay, so this is the object. So using this object, we will have some functions inside. Like if you want, so you just initialize your things. Okay, so now if you want to connect to that particular database, you need to use client.connect. Okay, so there is a function called connect. Okay, I will show that. Okay, so before that, you need to understand that it's a class. MongoDB is client. Mongo client is a class from your MongoDB. Okay, in order to access that instance, okay, you need to use new Mongo client, which is like you are creating an object for the particular class. It takes your MongoDB URL as a parameter. Okay, done. Okay, so then you have the object ready. Okay, so inside that, okay, inside your client, there will be something called connect. See here, connect. Okay, so if you connect it, okay, it will connect to your data. It will connect to the database. Okay, see here now. So connect. So once you do this, this will be connected, and you can do some logging here. Okay, but what happens here is these functions. Okay, so this particular connection parameter will be an asynchronous code, right? Okay, so because we are making a connection to the database, it might take some time or it may not. Okay, so it might be it will be something like a asynchronous operation. Okay, so what we need to do in order to make the asynchronous operation, so you are going to answer me. So in order to, this is an asynchronous operation, what we need to do? So in the comments, yes, await. Okay, so if you want to use await, what you need to do, you need to have a function, okay, that takes that has a async. Okay, async and await. If you want to use await, you need to use async. Okay, so here we just mentioned like directly, right? Okay, so you can what you can do is, okay, first here I'm going to convert this into a function load app. Okay, so every functionality here inside it. So function. Okay, and inside that function I have all my app configurations. Okay, so even I can have these things at the top here. Okay, so we just imported our packages. We just imported I will say this, so I will have the comments. So importing the express, and here we are importing the Mongo client, importing all the routes in the app. Okay, initializing or Mongo configurations. Okay, so I just have the comments here. So imported the export, imported the express, imported our Mongo client, imported all the routes. After the import is done, okay, we just have our Mongo connections ready here. Okay, and inside our load app, I just created a load app here. Okay, and I will call my load app after initialized. Okay, here. Okay, so and make this function asynchronous. So async function load app. Okay, so inside this, what it means is you're loading all your application configurations inside this, like initializing your middleware, initializing your what else? Initializing your routes, initializing your port, everything inside this particular function. Okay, so now here, what we can do, we can use await. Okay, so now your connection will be completed. Okay, and we can have a console. Okay, because it is going to be constructed, right? So connected to MongoDB. Okay, so connected to MongoDB. We just mentioned the log here. Okay, so go here, see, connected to the MongoDB and server listening at port 3000. Okay, so this is done. Your connection is done. So this part of code is Mongo connection. Okay, so Mongo connections. Okay, and from this, okay, so these are all something like a middlewares, all the middlewares. I'll have it this way. So all the middlewares I have in one place. So these are all something called a middlewares. Okay, then we have our routes. So routes, and these are all something called middlewares. Okay, I just have the console here. Okay, so that you can, comments here, so that you can understand what is happening here. So first connecting to our MongoDB. Okay, so connected to our MongoDB. Then we just initialize all our middlewares. Okay, each middleware has some purpose. For example, this middleware is to parse your request body. This middleware is to do a logging, and this middleware is to just like denying access to your delete API. Okay, so we are restricting our delete API here, and then we just initialize our route. Okay, all our routes, and here starting app. Okay, so here it was. It is the one. So starting the server. Okay, we can have it in that way. So connected to the Mongo database, then server listening at port 3000. Okay, so this is the hierarchy. Okay, so if there is an error happens in your MongoDB connection, okay, your application should not start. Okay, so that is the thing. So you need to use, whenever you use sync, you need to use try. So we are going to try these things. If there is an error in anything, okay, so if there is an error, I'll be getting error here, and just console.error of that particular error. Okay, so I just use my try block. Okay, and first I'm trying to connect my database. If there is an error happens, okay, automatically these things will be skipped. Okay, so that is why we use try catch. Okay, what is the purpose of it? If there is an error happens, automatically it will move to the catch block. Okay, other process will not be taken care. Okay, so okay, so connected to MongoDB, server listening at port 3000. Okay, so let's test. Okay, for example, if I use a different URL, something like randomly, okay, it should throw me an error. So see, it is throwing an error, invalid connection MongoDB at something like this. Okay, so your application gets stopped. Okay, other things will not be initialized. See, your initializations, this particular port is not running now. Okay, what is the reason? Because it takes an error at the first line itself. Okay, the URL is wrong. Okay, so that's why it's throwing an error. Okay, and here if you see, after throwing an error, okay, your server is still running. Okay, so what you can do is, whenever there is an error happens, you should quit your application, quit your process. Okay, so here we have something called process.exit. Okay, so what it does is, whatever the process that happens in your Node.js, it will exit it. Okay, so see here now. See, now it's connecting and there is a server listening at port 3000. Okay, suppose if I make some errors, something like this. Okay, see, your it catches inside your, it comes into your catch block, okay, and automatically your application stops. Okay, so that is the thing here. So see, node index, see, it comes out of your things here. Okay, suppose see here, automatically you have a command line argument here, right? See here, node index.js. I just call my index.js. So whenever the error happens, automatically it comes out of that particular block. Okay, if I don't use this, see what happens. If I run this, okay. So okay, so not okay, it's automatically having, okay. Okay. So, but scenario is you need to use process.exit in order to exit from your application. Okay. Else, what will happen here is, okay, your process will be running in your memory. Okay. So in your whatever the server that you have, you can have your things in your AWS or whatever, or it is on a local. Okay. If you don't use this, okay, it will just log your things here. Okay, but it will never end your app. Okay. So that is the thing here. So you need to always use process.exit, okay, in order to exit from the app if there is an error happening at the starting stage itself. Okay, so if there is an error happening in your connection or running the port or whatever the things, okay, you need to come out of that app. Okay, so that is the understanding. So if I run this, I'm going to give that correct URL, MongoDB. Okay, so npm start. Okay, so connected to the Mongo. Server listening at port 3000. Okay, done. So clear on this. Can everyone confirm? Clear on connecting to the database? Okay, so now we just connected to the database. Okay, so first, we need to select our database, right? For example, I need to select that I'm going to select GUI database for this application. You know, to select that, right? So here, okay, so const db equal to, okay, so what is the database here? Okay, your client object here is after connection client, okay, dot, it will have something called db. Okay, so what it means is we should give some database name here. Okay, so from now onwards, whatever that the query you run, okay, it will happen in that particular db alone. Okay, so GUI. Okay, so const db equal to client, I'm just storing it in a different variable. Okay, so there is a reason behind that. Okay, see here, so client dot db, okay, and that particular db name. Okay, what it means is it will connect, it will that particular database will be selected. Okay, so I'll have a log console.log of so db name is selected. Okay, so whatever the db name that we mentioned, so GUI is selected, or so you can have GUI database is selected. Okay, so whatever the thing you mentioned. Okay, so basically you are selecting a particular database. Okay, just a normal log. Okay, so now you have your db object here, right? So this is the variable that is we are going to use for querying our database. So this is the db is nothing but you will query here, right? db.post.find. So this db object here, right? So this db object is nothing but the db object here in your node.js. So using this db only, you need to perform db.post.find or db.query, db.remove or insert or whatever. Okay, so this db object, okay, so this is the one we are going to access in our entire application. Okay, so whatever the query that you are going to have, okay, so this is the thing. Okay, so we need to test that, right? So we'll test them. So see here now. Okay, first I need to do is I will just make a connection. Okay, I mean I will just do find query. Okay, so results. Okay, so I'll have it in the results or data or whatever. Okay, await db dot, see here now, so db dot collection. Okay, so your collection here, okay, and you need to send your collection. What is the collection that you want to perform? Posts. Okay. So post is a collection that is inside your GUI, right? GUI, I mean post dot. See here, all your function, delete many, delete one, find one, and update. Everything is happening here. Okay. So I'm going to use find or find one. Okay. So if you call this, okay, what will happen? Here you will have your database here, right? Okay. So console dot log of data. Okay. See, my first record is coming from my database. So it is coming. See here, I have the data here, right? So this particular database, this particular data is coming because I used find one. If you use find, so all the data will be coming here. Okay. So basically all the data will be coming here. Okay. So if you use find one, okay, only one particular data will be coming here. Okay. So that is the thing here. And you notice one thing. Okay. So if you use find, it gives your connection object. Okay. So there is nothing like some other things are coming here. Okay. So what is the reason behind that is, okay, whenever you use find, okay, so by default, your db.collection, this particular, whatever the operation that you perform, okay, it will retrieve, it will return only one object. Okay. But in the case of find, okay, what will happen? Multiple databases, multiple results will be coming here, right? Which is an array. Okay. So you need to convert them into an array. So two array here. So this is the thing you need to have in your mind. Whenever you use dot find, okay, so you need to use dot to array. Okay. So because this, it comes as an multiple response. Okay. You need to convert them into an array. Okay. And then only you will get it as an array data. See. So each and every post, ID, user ID, title and body. So ID, user ID and title and body. Every data is coming here as an array. Okay. So what we did here, we just initialized our client, we connected to our Mongo database, selected our database, and queried our database with the collection post using dot find and just console that particular result. Okay. So this is how we will be connecting to, this is how your MongoDB and Node.js is connected. Okay. So using this particular DB object, right? Using this DB object only, you are going to query in all the files. For example, you need to have, so basically here, the find query should be happening here because this is a get API, right? So you need to use your find query here and retrieve that particular response here. Same way, if you want to create a new response, you need to create it, okay, and send that particular response. And same applies for your update and delete as well. Okay. So clear on this? Can everyone confirm? So this is the main part of your MongoDB. Okay. Connect, select a database, and then whenever you select a database, you'll have the DB object. Okay. Using the DB object only, you are going to proceed further. Okay. Yes. Okay, cool. So now, why can't we connect DB in React? No, you cannot connect to client directly, right? Client React is a client-side library. Okay, it happens in your browser. If the browser is directly connected to database, there is no need for any backend languages. So you need to process data, right? So however, if you connect to the from React, if you connect from the front end, from the browser directly to your database, okay, so what will happen? So if you need to process some data, for example, here I just queried my database, okay, and if I need to process some data, I need to do that, right? You cannot do that in the front end. Okay, so front end, and for example, without the backend language, can you access your JS file, JSON file inside your local storage? So basically, React and what are the front end library, their level is up to your browser. Okay, up to the browser only your client side languages are. You cannot directly connect to the system. Okay, yeah. So here, okay, we just connected to our database and everything is done. So this particular DB object here, right? Okay, I need this in my post here, post route, and I need it in my user route. Okay, So I need it in the entire application. Okay. So then how can I access this DB object? My DB object will be available only in index.js. Okay. So how can we access DB here? So what we need to do is we need to move this into a different module. Okay. And import that particular module wherever you need. Okay. So that is what we are going to achieve. Okay. So basically, I'm going to remove the JSON here. I'm going to use remove the users.json because we are going to use our database. Okay. And here I need to mention something. Okay. So routes. Okay. This is not a very important one, but this is what we follow. Okay. If it is a route file, we will have it as route.js. Okay. The name doesn't matter. Okay. But still we will follow this. What is the reason here is for each and every route. Okay. We will have we'll have one more folder actually here. Okay. So for example, we will have something called services. So these are some coding standards. If you want, you can follow. Okay. So what we do here is here in a route. Okay. We will not write all our logics. Okay. So route is to just routing your things. Okay. Here we will call our services. Okay. For example, this post will have a service. Okay. Something like post.service.js. Okay. So I'm not going to explain them. Okay. But still, I just want to show you. Okay. So post.route. Okay. If you don't want to use this, you can directly use like post.js. That is not an issue at all. Okay. But as a coding standard, always supply the whatever the name that you have. Something like if you have routes, post.routes.js. If you have service, post.service.js. Okay. So it's just a bonus point. Okay. So have it in your mind. Okay. So now I need my DB here, right? I need them in my every file. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll create a file called mongo.js. So it's a module. Okay. So all your database related things will be inside this particular file. Okay. And we can import them whenever we need. Okay. So what I'll do is go here, whatever the thing that is exactly with respect to MongoDB, I'll move it in a different file here. And here the connection part. Okay, so here I will have something like Mongo. This is going to be a Mongo, right? I will have an object. Okay, so it's going to be null. So initially your DB object will be null, right? Okay, then I will have a function called connect. Okay, and inside this connect, I will move these logics. Okay, simple as that. Okay, so instead of storing this DB, okay, instead of storing this DB in a variable, I can use this dot DB. Okay, so I can store it in this. What is the reason? I have it initialized as null. Okay, then once you are connected, I just switch the database. Okay, simple. So Mongo connection. I can have this here as well. That's not an issue. So Mongo client and the URL and client, everything is ready. So this is going to be your async. Okay. So see, MongoDB URL, the configurations, and this is going to be your Mongo client now. Okay. So client. Okay. So whenever if someone calls this particular file, okay. So see, I'm going to export this module dot exports equal to Mongo. Okay. So what is this Mongo? Okay. It's an object that has DB and object that has a key called DB, and initially its value is none. Okay. So then I have a function called connect. Okay. It has something called await client.connect. Okay. So it has client.connect. What is the client here? I just have my Mongo client here, right? So client.connect and connected to Mongo. Okay. Then I'm switching to the database. So this .db. So it points to this DB. Okay. So this .db, client.db, and that particular name, DB name here. Okay. And it will be connected. Okay. So I'm exporting this. So when I export this, your DB object, your connect, both are available for me in every file, right? Okay. So I will use this connect object here. Okay. So whenever the initializations happen, const equal to require. So I have it in my mongo.js. Okay. So I'm importing my Mongo, and inside my Mongo, I have connect function here, right? I'm going to import it, okay? Or you can import, you can directly call Mongo. That's not an issue. Okay, I will have Mongo here. Okay, so Mongo. I just acquired my Mongo module. Okay, it has an object. So what is exported? It's an object that has connect function and DB. Okay, so here when our application is bootstrap. Okay, so await Mongo dot connect. See those two properties. So connect. Okay, simple as that. So what you do here whenever you connect to the database? Okay, this dot DB will have the data. See here. Okay, it's on that's post.json here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just remove this because I deleted the file, right? That's why. So here I'll just remove this to have an array. Okay, so see, connected to the MongoDB. Okay, what is happening here? My index.js. Okay, I just removed my Mongo connections to a different file. Okay, nothing other than that. Okay, because I need the DB object here, right? This DB property, this dot DB here. Okay, using that only I can query the database, right? So I just moved into a different file here. Okay, and exported them. And whenever I import it, okay, Mongo. So whenever the application is bootstrap, okay, I will connect to the database. So await mongo.connect. Okay, so see, exactly the same as working as expected. Connecting to the MongoDB, GUI database selected, and server listening at port 3001. Okay, so Mongo connection. YB give DB equal to null. Initially, it will be null, right? Okay, so see here. So before connection, so here, if I do before connection, if I do Mongo, I just printing Mongo object here. Okay, see it has DB equal to null and connect object. Okay, so whenever you call your connect object, okay, you should initialize like this dot DB, right? You should initialize it. Okay, so before that, if anyone calls your this dot DB, okay, it will throw you an error like you are calling DB of undefined and other things. Okay, so in order to overcome that, you can have an object called DB null. Okay, you're just initializing. Okay, initially it is DB equal to null. When you connect to that particular object, it will have the connections. Okay, so see now I'm having Mongo. Okay, and it is null now. Okay, so I'll do a connection and print again. Okay. DB equal. Oh, okay. So before connection itself, I just imported it. Okay. So we'll see. So I'll show it in a post in this file. Okay, I'll show it. So see, initially it should be null. Okay, so it's null. Okay, and then after connecting, you are just assigning this .db. So this .db is nothing but this particular file here. Okay, it will point to that, and it will have some data here. Okay, so initializations are done. Now go to my post here. Okay, here I'm just importing my again Mongo require. That is that Mongo. Okay, so now whenever the get method is done, okay, Mongo, so const posts equal to Mongo, I need to have await, and here it should be async. Await Mongo dot db dot collection. Okay, what is the collection that you are going to select? Posts. Okay, dot find dot whenever you use find, you need to use to array. Okay, simple. So if you send that, okay, that particular data will be retrieved. Okay, so that is the thing here. So now I don't need posts. See, we just removed our static post. Okay, whenever there makes an get method, okay, you are just calling your post await. So this Mongo object is nothing but here. Okay, this particular file it refers to this particular file, and we have our DB object there right here. Okay, so Mongo dot DB and DB dot collection. You need to select what is the collection we have. Okay, so here we have post collection. Okay, post dot find dot to array. Okay, We do this. Okay. So whenever you make a get API, okay. So go here. So I'm going to make a get API to my post. What is the error? So async client dot connect. So do I need to use it inside it? Okay. So this we have used this, right? Okay. So it was working. It was not working. It is not referring to the object. Okay. Yes. So you just connected it. Okay. Connected to the MongoDB, and you just assign to the DB here. Okay. And you just console them database selector. Okay. So whenever I make an API call to my get API with post. Okay. See, now the data is retrieving exactly your API is ready, which is coming from your database. Okay. So await your Mongo object is here. Okay. So you can use Mongo here, or you can directly take DB or whatever. Okay. So see mongo.db.collection. Okay. So you are going to just select your collection. Okay. So it's exactly similar to here. We have db.collection.find here, right? So in your Mongo here, okay. So you will do it in this way. So db.post.find. Okay. Here the same thing here. db dot you need to first select your collection. It's a function that takes your collection name post. Okay. Other than that, find, and you need to make it as an array. So to array. Okay. So whatever the data you ask, okay. So you send here post. Okay. Users is ready. Okay. Same way, if you want to do the same with your users, go to the users API here. I don't need this users. Here, DB, okay, it's going to be users. You need to select the users collection, okay, all the users data. Okay, I need to import them. I just import it here. Okay, so once you do this, so if you make a users API, wait, I have to use async. Okay, so go here, make a users API here. See, users data is coming. Okay, so these data, it's like a real-time APIs. Okay, it's not a fake API anymore. Okay, so your real-time API, it's coming from your database. Okay, if you insert a new data, it will retrieve your new data. Okay, so see, post users. Okay, so your get API is now done. Okay, using your MongoDB. Okay, clear? So this is how we will do whenever we create an API. Okay. So only thing is here we just written our logic here, right? We will have it in a different file. Okay. So on there we will call that particular file, that particular function in that particular file. Okay. So other than that, everything is similar to your whatever how we create an API, connecting the database, getting the data, and send it to the client. Okay. Clear? So we are done with our get API, connecting to our database and returning the response. Can everyone confirm? Already. So now Let's move on to the read operation is done. Okay, so now the create operation. Okay, so I'm going to copy the same here. So for your creating the operation, okay, or creating a new resource, posts. So what we need to have, we need to use guys answer. What do we need to use it here? So we need to create a resource. Yes. So we are going to insert a new post right now. Okay. So insert one. Okay, because we are going to insert only one record. Okay. So what is the record that we are going to insert? So for example, if I use post API, okay, and in the body I will select this, right? So this is the record I need to insert in my database. Okay. So where is that particular record will be? It will be inside your request.body. Okay. So use that request.body here. Okay. So this will be inserted and we'll be sending that post data as a response. Okay. Let's see. So your again async. Okay. So now, so if I use get API, so it is responding with need to use posts. So posts. Okay. So I have some ID here. So user ID 22 and much more things here. Okay. So I will have user ID 100, something like this, and I will have something like this. Okay. And I'm going to use post method to insert it. Okay. The inserted ID, right? So we have our inserted ID here. Okay. So now what it means is you have inserted the data. Okay. So if I use the get API here and go to the last here, see, this is the record that is inserted into our database. Okay. So we just inserted our database, and if you want to see the data, okay, it's real time now. Okay. It's not like we just like inserted. Okay. It's a real time. Okay. Go here and refresh this. See the data that we inserted, it's available here as well. See, this is the data that we inserted, right, when using our API here. Yes, clear on this? Okay, so now see, I'm going to insert again. Okay, 1000. Okay, so I will have test GUI and GUI body. Okay, something like this. So instead of using insert one, I'm going to use insert. The same. Okay, I'm just explaining like how insert works and insert one works. Okay, insert one is to, it will take only one object. Insert will take multiple or just one. Okay, so if you run this, see, again it's inserted and it will give you an inserted ID. Okay, so insert, and again if you go to make a, you see the database here. So run this. See, our data is inserted, and if you make a get API and see, that particular record will be inserted here. Okay. You guys have any questions on the CRUD operation with your create? Okay, so now what we'll do is, so obviously we need to go, we are going to update our data. Okay, so go here again, you are going to answer me here. So mongodb.collection, and not to update my database or update my record, what I need to do is, Save. Is it so? Save. Yes, there are multiple things. We can use update or update on or find on and update and what are the things. Okay, so I'll use find on and update. So dot find on and update, and what it takes. So find one and update. Okay, so your find on update will take two parameters. What is the parameters? Set. Okay, so set is one thing. Okay, then what is the parameter? Okay, yes, so where and the value. Okay, so your find on update. Okay, it's nothing but first you need to select what is the record that you want. Okay, so in order to do that, it takes first parameter as a condition. Okay, for example, if I want to update a record with ID, so I can pass this ID here, right? So request dot params dot ID. Okay, so request dot params dot ID. Okay, and then you need to pass whatever the record that you want to insert. I will use request dot body again directly. Okay, so find on an update. We just mentioned our condition and whatever the data that you want to update. Okay, so let's see. So here, go here, and I'm going to use an ID. So this is the ID I'm going to use. Go here, paste it, and I need to use the put method. And the record I'm going to update is it's initially user ID equal to 1000, and then it will have something called title, and it will have something called body. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to update them with user ID 2000, something like this, something like this. Okay, so we just mentioned our what are the ID that you want to update and what is the record that you want to update, and you have mentioned here as well. So this is the where condition, and here is the I need to mention the set. So set this particular value. Okay, so request dot body. Yes. So here find on an update, the condition and what you want to set. Okay, so let's see what happens. So go here and update that particular record. Wait, again. Let's see. So go here, send it. Okay. Okay. So meaning like it has. Let's see it updated or not. Okay. So we'll make. We will see here. So where is the record? Okay, it's not updated. What is the reason? Set and that particular request body. Do I need to add it as a new object? Might be. So go here, put API body, send it. Again, it's going to be an error. Am I missing something here? Let me console.log of request dot params. Log of request dot body. So go here and send your ID. Yes, I'm getting both the data, but why it's not updating? Let me use update one. So send it here. Acknowledged. Okay. And if I go to the database, okay, so what is the reason? What is the reason? ID request.params.id. Okay, do you guys find any issues? I'm not getting anything. Our query is correct, right? Do you guys have anything here? Do you find anything here? I'm missing something here. So, okay. So if I remove the request here, okay. So let's try again. So send it. No, again, it's not existing. It's not updating. What is the reason? What is the reason? Am I missing something? What I'll do is I'll statically give. I'll statically giving request.body and modifying the user ID to 2000. Okay, so I'll just give the static values. Let's see now. Again, it's not updated. Okay, so I'm missing something here. No. What am I missing? Some simple thing I'm missing. Okay, so what I'll do is, I think this will be an issue. Okay, let's see. So inside your MongoDB here, I need to take object ID. Okay, so here it is stored as an object ID, right? So maybe we need to, yes, that's the thing. So request.params.id. Okay, we have it is stored as an object ID here, right? So object ID of, okay, so we may need to add that condition. Okay, let's see. So it's from your MongoDB. Okay, so your update, and I'm going to update the same that is in request body now. Okay, so I'm not going to have it dynamically, I mean statically. So now go here. Yes, now it's updated. Okay. Yes. So your ID is stored as an object ID, right? We cannot directly use string. Okay, something like this. Okay. So you need to use object ID in order to select that particular thing. So here we have the object IDs. You can import them from your MongoDB library itself, your package here. Okay, and have your object ID mentioned here. So object ID of that particular ID. Okay. So that's how it is stored in your database. Object ID of that particular ID. So if I run this, see, now it's updated. Okay, so that's the thing, I missed it. Okay, so now if you update something like this and have something like this and something like this and have some random ID, send it. Okay, so now it's getting updated. See, 232 and the values updated. Okay. Yeah, you can pass return original true. Okay, it will retrieve you the new record. Okay, so now it is retrieving you the old record, right? So you can pass your third parameter, return original, or they may be a different flag. Okay, we'll try it. So return original true. So if I update it to 34 and some other things, 1 2 3 4 and send it. See, no, your updated is not coming. Okay, so what happens here is you might have a different flag when you use find on update in your MongoDB. So this MongoDB package that you use it here, right? So this is different. This differs from your original MongoDB here. Okay, so you might have a different settings in order to use return original. Okay, so maybe like I think it's kind of like new. Okay, let's see. or return new. I'm not sure about that. Okay, we'll check the documentation. So go to the MongoDB, go to the documentation here. Node.js, and what we need to use, it's find one update, right? So go here, find one, and so db.collection.find. I see here itself API documentation. Fundamentals, CRUD operations, write operation, change a document. So we used set, okay. And what is the thing that you want to have? So here it is. So db.collection, and options are here. Okay, so what is the options that it takes? Options. Yes, it's return new document. Okay, so we have something called return original, right? So same way here, the same flag. Okay, so the same flag, return new document. So go here and update something like this, and go here, update, and have this. So now user ID, still I get the same. When true, returns the updated document, defaults to false. Okay. Server is restarted. Just updating the record. Okay. So yes, I will check this and tell you. Okay, but if you use it in the normal MongoDB here, okay, so we tried it already, right? We use something called return new document, so it will return you the updated result. Okay, if you want to have an updated result, so you need to add something here, and I forgot that. Okay, so in your MongoDB, that's what your exact MongoDB differs from your driver. Okay, so you have your drivers, right? So drivers is nothing but that is going to act as an intermediate between your database and the Node.js. Okay, so if you use it, okay, there may be another settings. Okay, I will tell you once. I will check and tell you about that alone. Okay, so but the original understanding here is find one update is to update your document, and please have it in your mind that you need to use object ID. Okay, because it is stored as an object ID, right? So what is an object ID? So object ID is a combination of your process ID and much more things. Okay, so the same thing here. If you want to have a where condition, you need to mention your object ID here. It's not like here. You need to use the same here. For example, if you want to have ID here, you need to mention object ID of that particular thing. Okay, so your NoSQL booster understands your object ID, DB, and other things. Okay, but in the case of MongoDB, we need to have object ID function from your MongoDB package itself and add them to the where condition here. Okay, so where ID equal to object ID of that particular ID that we mentioned. Okay, and update your whatever the body that it have, we are just setting it here. Okay, so these all we already saw it in the MongoDB session itself. Okay, only thing is we just include them in your Node.js. Okay, and we need to add this param alone. I will check and tell you. Okay, so let's see. So clear on the update operations? Can everyone confirm? Clear on this? Find one and update. So these are all the options that it accepts. Free preference. There is something called written document. Absurd session. Let's try the written document. So go here and update it to 12442. No. Okay, I'll let you know after reading this. Okay, so I think you need to add one more flag to it. I'm not sure about that. Yes. So let's move on to the update. Okay, so I mean delete. Okay, so now by default, so do we learn mongoose? No, we will not be converting the mongoose here. Okay, so now the delete operation. Okay, so we'll perform the delete. Okay, the same. Go here and have it placed here, and the URL parameters. We need to use async here. Okay, so how do they delete the document? We need to use remove or delete many or whatever the thing. Okay, so you can use remove as well, or if you want to use delete, you can use delete as well. So that's not an issue. So that's what. So there are multiple things given by your library itself. Okay, so you can use those things, remove, or you can use like remove one or delete many or whatever the things that you want. Okay, so yes, so for a remove or whatever the thing, delete or whatever. Okay, so what we'll do is we need to just supply the where condition. Okay, so I will use delete one. So since you guys started delete one, okay, so ID, and we don't need to set up anything here. Okay, so mongo.db.collection that particular post. Okay, and delete a particular record which has ID and whatever the ID that we supplied. Okay, so that is the thing here, and I will send the data. Okay, so I will send the same data. So update, delete. Okay, let's see the delete thing here. So go here, use the delete operation, send it. Okay, so we have restricted them in the middleware. So we have added a middleware, right? So earlier. So now go to send. Yes, it's deleted, and go to the database, and we have deleted this record. Okay, 6CAB, right? 6CAB. Okay, run this. So that particular record is not available now. Okay, if you use a get method and check that particular post. Okay, so this will not be available now. Okay, because it's deleted. Okay, so again, delete one, delete many. You can use anything here. Okay, whatever the things that you want, you can have them placed it here. Okay, the same applies in your users as well. The same applies to whatever the collections that you use. Okay, you can send it over to the particular collection. You just need to select that particular collection, and you can perform those queries: find, insert, find one, update, and delete one. Okay, clear on this? Clear on the CRUD operations collectively? Do you guys have any questions? Guys, at least response now, everyone. Okay, you need to set it to after. Okay, so return document is not true or false. It's going to be after. So if you mention after, it will retrieve the document after the updation has happened. Okay, so you can use this document. I'll share it. So if it by default it's before. Okay, and that's why we are getting the new document. I mean the before updating the document. Okay, so see here, I'm going to use this to update now. So post/id and put method, I'm going to update it. So currently it's 100. I'm going to have 200, and I have the same value. Okay, I'm going to update it. So yes, so now I'm getting the new response. Okay, so you can use this response in order to send it to the client. Okay, so if I go here, and it will be updated here as well. Okay, so that's what your MongoDB refers from your this Mongo implementation. Okay, so you need to use return document. You need to mention after or before here. Okay, it will retrieve based on the value that you gave here. Okay, yes, clear. So you can go this documentation. I will share you this. So this you can go to the particular documentation directly. So nothing new here. So what else? Yeah. So go here. We have just completed our today's topic. Okay. So can we use remove? Okay. So let's see if there is any option for remove. So I have used remove in the library called Mongoose. Okay. Let's see what happens here. I'm not sure. So go to the delete operation and that particular post, send it. Yes, it is working as the same. Okay, you can use remove as well in the MongoDB. Remove, delete one, delete many. Okay, so we can have any parameter mentioned here. Okay. Yes. Okay. So what is the output of today's topic here is, okay, in order to connect to the database, I will just quickly go over the things. In order to connect to the database, your MongoDB, we need to import a class from your MongoDB called Mongo client. So what is the basic thing of client is? For your MongoDB, okay, so we need to mention some client, okay, in order to access those data. Okay, so our Node.js is a client now. Okay, so Mongo client, it takes a parameter called URL, your MongoDB URL. Okay, so client, and inside that client, okay, what we have done here is just client.connect, and once it is connected without any error, we can use connected to Mongo. Okay, just like a message. Same if there is an error. Okay, so already we use try catch here, right? It will throw you an error. Okay, so then we are just switching to the database. How to switch the database? That particular client connected, right? .db. Okay, so .db and that particular database name that you want. Okay, so until this part, your connection string is done. Okay, and this is the point, this DB, right? So this is the one we are going to use it in all the files whenever you need to perform a query or any other operations to the database. Okay, so go here. So in my post, what I have did here, whenever there is a get operation is happening, okay, I just query my database mongodb.collection, and I'm selecting a collection called post. Okay, dot find. Okay, so whenever you use find, you need to use .to array. Okay, so the what you need to understand here is whatever you use in your MongoDB, like queries and other things, okay, everything will not work in your Node.js. Okay, so they might have made some changes in their Mongo client. Okay, so here this particular NoSQL booster will have some Mongo client. Okay, and same way your Node.js here uses MongoDB package from your npm. It's a MongoDB driver. Okay, so everything doesn't have the same thing. So if you use .find, okay, so in the case of here, what we did db.post.find, but here db.collection, and what is the collection that you want to mention instead of calling directly. Okay, so your MongoDB will understand only if you use db.collection, and inside that you need to give your parameter what is the collection. Okay, and .find. Okay, if you use this, so whenever you use find, you need to use .to array in order to convert them into an array response. Okay, so that is the thing. Then whenever you go in, if you want to insert a data, okay, so same mongodb.collection.post, you can use insert or insert one or insert many. Okay, so I'm just passing my request body, whatever the sent here. Okay, we just inserted and returning that particular response. Okay, if you want to send it in the, if you want to send the inserted record, you just need to make a find query here and send the data. Okay, so then update. Okay, what is an update happening here? So update is nothing but await. So here I use find on an update. So first you need to find the condition. What is the condition that you want to mention, like object ID? So don't forget this. If you use ID, you need to use for object ID. If you use any other field, you can directly give directly here. Okay, but your IDs are stored as an object ID, right? So you need to import that particular function object ID from your MongoDB and use it here and pass that particular ID that you want to update. Okay, so set your request body, whatever you send from the client. Okay, you can just update it, and if it has some new options here. Okay, so return document. Okay, if you use return document and have something like after or before. Okay, so if you use before, it will retrieve the old record. If you use after, it will retrieve the new record that is updated. Okay, so that is the parameter here. Okay, So then the delete operation, it's simple. Like you can use remove or delete one or delete many. Okay. Just mention what are the condition that you want. Okay. It will delete from the database as well. Okay. So now it's a real-time database, real-time data. Okay. So nothing new here. Okay. So nothing like fake response or fake API or static data, nothing like that. Okay. Everything is real-time. It's stored in the database. So it's completely a web architecture. Okay. So client is going to request a data from the server using an API. Okay, using the HTTP method, we will make an API, and your server, what it does, it will connect to a MongoDB and get the response and send it to the client. Okay, so the basic architecture of web development we have completed here at this point of time. Okay, you can implement the same for your users, or if you want to have some other collections, if you want to try, you can have your own collections. Okay, so your API part is done. Your CRUD operations, read, create, update with MongoDB. Okay, clear? Do you guys have any questions? Any other questions? Can everyone confirm? So there are totally 31 members in this session. I'm getting response from only 10 whenever I ask a question. I'm not sure you guys are learning here. Okay. So what are the comments? So how a project is planned, built in a software company? What are the major roles in the company? How can we prepare ourselves? How the works are assigned to developers? Can we have a separate session? Sure, we can have it. Okay, so we can have, we are still in the technical phase, right? So first we need to complete our technical phase. So then after the Node.js is completed, we will have something for your AWS and much more things. We have much more things there. Okay, so we can have, if needed, we can have at the end of all the sessions. Okay, yes. So that's it for today. So it's very short. Okay, do you guys have any questions on this? Collectively, do you guys have any questions? Okay, we have 30 minutes time. Okay, so why don't we waste it? Okay, so now what we did is, okay, we'll cover one more topic. So where is the mongo.js? Here, what we did is we just connected to our local database and did our things here. Okay, now what we'll do is we will connect to a cloud database. Okay, which is something called MongoDB Atlas. Okay, so MongoDB Atlas. So this is a cloud database. Cloud database is nothing like complex. Okay, what happens here is your Mongo database is in your cloud. Okay, so from your local or from your own app, we are going to, here we have our own MongoDB database here, right, in our local. Okay, instead of having like this, we'll have it in the cloud. Okay, and whenever we need, we can access them. Okay, so if you use local, what will happen? So only this particular system will have that particular database. Okay, if you want to have it in a cloud, okay, we can have it in the cloud and have them accessed whenever we need. Okay, so you can create your own database. So what I will do is we will start from the scratch. Okay, so first I'm going to create an email ID. So because we need to sign up there. So Ruby batch 241. Okay. Why did I do that? So why is it asking me this? So I'm in my VPN. Okay, we just created our database, Gmail account. Okay, so here I'm learning MongoDB beach 241 at gmail.com. Okay, so using the email ID that I created, okay, I just created my MongoDB account now. So MongoDB cloud, okay. So Mongo cloud is nothing but it's stored in a different server, okay, instead of having it in the local. So 241 weekday. So where is the link? Go here. Okay, I just signed up to my MongoDB account now. Okay, so continue. So you can use your email ID. Okay, so this is how we will start. Okay, so go here and let it load. Okay, when you enter into your MongoDB here, okay, your cloud MongoDB, which is MongoDB Atlas. Okay, you can mention anything like GUI or whatever the project name that you want to mention. For example, ours is a post app, right? So I can have posts app. Okay, and you can mention some language, JavaScript. Ours is our JavaScript, and just give continue. So you can create it at any point of time. You can skip it and create at any point of time. I just create in the scratch itself. Okay, so here I can use my free. So cluster is nothing but it's a storage. Okay, so you don't need to worry about this. Okay, so cluster, first you just created your account, your MongoDB account is ready. Then you just created your data, your organization like GUI or whatever the thing that you want. Okay, next what we had, we just created our new project. What is the project? Ours is our post app, right? I just created with a name called post app. So GUI. Okay, so go here and you need to create a cluster. Okay, so cluster is nothing but here in our local system. Okay, what we have something called hard disk and other things, right? Same way in the case of your cloud. Okay, we will have them in a different cluster. Cluster is nothing but a storage. Okay, so we can have it in a shared storage and it's going to be hosted in AWS. Just give the exact same options. Okay, you will not give anything here, just go with the create cluster. Okay, so everything is done. Okay, so now see, it is getting deployed. Okay, so once it is done, okay, your database or your system is ready. Okay, then you can go ahead and like you created a database here, right? So for example, GUI or whatever the things. Okay, you can create your own database. You can create your own collections there and connect to that particular database from our local. Okay, so basically what this understanding here is, you will get a different URL. Okay, like we have local host, right? So they will host into a different server and give us the link. Okay, we can just have them here and have them accessed from our own app. Okay, so let's see. So it is getting deployed. So it is just like it will take like 1 to 3 minutes. Let's see. Okay, so far clear, right? So what we had. Okay, any questions? So before moving on to this, any questions on this? We created our MongoDB account. First, I created just my email ID. Okay, then I used that email ID for creating my MongoDB account, Atlas account. Then when I entered it, okay, it asked me to create my organization and the project. Okay, if you want to have them created at that point of time, you can create it, or you can create it in a later point of time. See, so you can have multiple organization. For example, I have only one organization. So this account we can have for multiple organizations. Suppose this is how we will use. So multiple, you can work in multiple projects, right? So you can have your own organization mentioned here. You can have another organization as well, and each and every organization will have a different different project, right? So for some case, see here. So in my Google organization, okay, I have a project called post app. Okay, so for that particular post app, I'm going to create my database. Okay, so cluster is nothing but deploy or database. Okay, so basically it's just a storage. Okay, inside that particular cluster, we will be creating our own database. Like you can have multiple things here. Okay, so your project may have multiple database, so that's why it's giving an option. Okay, so let's see. So it's configuring your MongoDB. Status has changed. Okay, so now it's ready. So cluster 0. Okay, so I'm going to create. Okay, it's going to create a cluster. Sorry. Okay, so go to the particular cluster. So here, click on the cluster. So you can see multiple things here. Your collections. So what is the collections that you have in that particular collections? Okay, same way. Now I have 0 data. Okay, so that's why it's having in that way. Okay, so overview you can see here. Okay, so it will just give you certain things like how many times that you used and other things here. Okay, so what else? Okay, done. So what I'll do is I'll just add my first database here. Okay, so you can see add my own data. Here I'm going to have the same database name like Gooey, or you can have like Gooey posts. Okay, and the first collection. So what is the collection that we have? Something called posts. So posts. Okay, and create. Okay, so a database is created and it has a collection called post. So currently it doesn't have anything here. Okay, so see, no data. Okay, so see, I'm clicking on the post. Okay, and find the document. There is no data inside it. So query result is 0. Okay, as it doesn't have any document. Suppose if you want to insert a record, just give here. You can mention the data like title equal to Groovy. Okay, and body equal to test body, and you can have test Groovy. And what else? We'll have something called user ID, right? So user ID, something like 100. Okay, so everything is done. Just insert it. Okay, so you can insert them here as well. If you want to update it, just give edit. Okay, you can update it here. Okay, so that's the thing. So I have one record in my Google post database and inside my post collection. Okay, so your things are done. So now you need to connect, or you need to get that particular thing here, right? You need to connect them into a Mongo database, right? So basically you need this particular URL. Okay, so go to connect here. So we clicked on connect here, right? So connect. So here it will ask for you many things. For example, only your IP address can access this. You can mention in that way. Or if you want to have multiple things, like add a different IP address, or anyone can access this database, you can mention it in that way. Okay, so there are 3 options. You can access them from any, you can access from this particular IP address. It will take your IP address by default. Okay, or you can mention a thing, right? If you want to add a different IP address, you can add them. Or if you want to have them access from anywhere, okay, you can have that. I will have that option now. Okay, so anywhere. So okay, so now you need to create a user. So you need to have a database user, right? So that you need to query here. So in the local, we don't need any user, okay, because by default it is going to access here. Okay, so we are using our admin login, so directly we can use. But here, any database, you need to have a user. For example, in MongoDB, in MySQL, what we had a username called root, and whenever we install it, we gave some password, right? Same, okay, same scenario here. So I'm going to have something called root user, and I'm going to have something like this. Okay. So create database user. Okay. So your configuration is done. Now choose a connection method here. Okay, so there are three options. One is connecting with MongoDB shell or connecting your application. So our application has a driver here, right? So you can have this, or you can have connect using MongoDB Compass. Compass is nothing but it is exactly similar to NoSQL Booster. Okay, so I told you on that day, MongoDB Compass is nothing but exactly similar to your NoSQL Booster. It is also a tool that you want to visualize your data. Okay, so here we are going to connect from our application. So connect your application. See, our Node.js version is okay 3.7. Okay, or later. Okay, so now see the URL is ready. Okay, so go here and connect them here. Okay, and here I need to mention my password. What are the password mentioned? I mentioned admin123 as random password. Okay, so once it is done, okay, close. So your user is ready. Okay, so if you want to see some example, okay, so here it will give you the code as well. See, Mongo client, which we did. So Mongo client, the URL, the new Mongo client, that particular URL, client.connect, and whatever the things here. Okay, so they will give code as well. If you mention JavaScript before, okay, so if you want to have them, please don't have them. Okay, so try code it on your own. Okay, so now we just mentioned our things here. So we have connected to Mongo, GUI database is selected. Okay, see, connect to the Mongo GUI database, and this is the database from your cloud. Okay, so now if I'm going to query it. Okay, so I'm going to make a get API. So get method, send it. So get method / posts. So go to the collections. Okay, the database name is GUI post, right? So that's the what we missed here. So database name is GUI posts. Okay, so now run it. So now go here. And what's happening here? Okay, connected. Now if I send it, see, this record is coming from your cloud. So I inserted here, right? That is the record that I have here. So if you use post method, it is going to insert it. Okay, so 200 and some other things. Send it. It is inserted. So go here and refresh. So where is the refresh option here? Refresh. See, now it has 2 records which we inserted from our client. Okay. Yes. So this is how we will be connecting to a cloud database. Okay. So basically, every application, real-time application, will have a URL from the cloud. Okay. So here MongoDB Atlas is a free. It gives you a free things. Okay, because this is from your MongoDB itself. Okay, MongoDB Atlas is from your MongoDB website itself. Okay, so that's why you are getting into a free access. Okay, or if you have something like AWS account, you can create your MongoDB there. Okay, and have them connected from anywhere. So you can, for a learning purpose, you can just use this. Okay, but the thing here is you will get a URL. Okay, and you will know what is the database name. Okay, you can directly use them. Okay, that's what, very simple. Okay, so any questions do you guys have? We just connected to our cloud database. Yes, so then we should always use MongoDB Atlas. Yes, absolutely. So if you want to have a cloud application, always prefer the MongoDB. Okay, so when you deploy your app to any other platform like Heroku or any other like AWS, okay, you cannot create your local database there. Okay, so you need to create some configuration and other things. Instead, just go to the Atlas. There may be some other providers as well for your MongoDB, and when you create that particular, there you can manage all your data here. Okay, so that we manage here, right? Same way you can manage there as well, and just use their URL. Okay, and they will give you the URL and password. So root admin123 is a username and password that I use. Okay, same way they might give you different username and password. Just use them here. Okay, in your local, we just connected to MongoDB at localhost. Okay, so that is the thing. Yes, so for your free version, that there will be a limit. So you go to the billing section and you will know that. Let's see. So let's see the pricing. I never see it. Okay, because anyways, I'm going to use it for the purpose of learning only. So what is the pricing? MongoDB Atlas pricing. So here it is. So we use it gives you like 5 GB of storage. Okay. If you use any other dedicated or serverless things, okay, so $57 per month. So I'm in my company's VPN, so it's US VPN, so that's why it's showing it in dollars. Okay, so if you use if you try it, maybe it will show it in the Indian INR. Okay, so that's the thing. So for your free version, 5 GB storage. Okay, so what is this particular shared is? Okay, you have a storage, right? So something like this, so cluster 0 that here. Okay, so this particular thing will be used by multiple people. Okay, they have their own database. Okay, you share your storage between all the users. Okay, so this you have the same storage, and others also will have the same storage. Okay, if you use your free version. Okay, so that is not going to affect you at any point of time. Okay, so it will not show it here or any other place. Okay, only thing here is, okay, when you use a shared one, it will be little slow because everyone is accessing the data, right? So it will be slow. So your companies will use dedicated server. Okay, so only they store their data only stored in their database. Okay, and yes, so this is learning purpose, right? You can just go like create an organization, create a project, and create a database. Okay, so yes. Do you guys have any questions for me? Yes. So what will if we deploy using localhost? So what will happen if we deploy using localhost? Yeah, the local in the server you will not have MongoDB. Okay, so if you deploy it using localhost, it will throw you an error. It will not connect at all because you don't have your MongoDB in that particular server. So server is nothing but a machine, right? So you have your local machine. Okay, so if you want to have this, if you want to deploy your application, you will move it to a server. Server is again it's going to be a different machine like cloud machine. Okay, so if there is a MongoDB installed in that particular machine, okay, so then it will directly connect to that MongoDB local host. Okay, but if there is no MongoDB at all, it will throw you an error. Okay, so in order to overcome that, we can just use the dedicated MongoDB platform like MongoDB Atlas. Okay, it will store all your data there. Yes, yeah. So today we are done with our CRUD API with your MongoDB. So we just connected to the MongoDB using local and MongoDB Atlas and did some CRUD operation. What else we did? Yes. I'm going to use the localhost and I will share you these things. So here it is. So go here. Outs. Okay, I got a comment. I'm facing issue while doing a React project, like no access control, allow origin header. Okay, so what did you try? So why it is throwing an error? So when you make a Axios, so Axios, what is the URL that you mentioned? Is it local?
No, it
or any
is
other?
API call. I'm making an API call.
Yes, that's what. So what is the URL that you are making?
The dictionary API. I'm actually making a call. Can I send you the link?
Yes, yes. So what happens here is the reason behind that particular error is if you you are a server like you are calling an API, right? So that particular server is restricting you to access those data. So
Okay,
what
actually,
happens?
I have seen that some solution in the internet, but actually couldn't get it solved.
Yes, that's what we cannot solve it from our side. Okay, so it is your okay. So I will ask you a question. So you have your server, so you have your own API. Okay, so if you only your client should access that particular API, right?
Okay.
If any other server, or for example, okay, so I have a website, something called manaskumar.com. Okay, I have my APIs in my Node.js server. Okay, and I have a client.
Okay.
So if I call my API from my client, I need to allow them. If you call them from any other website, I need to block them. Okay, so that is the understanding here, right?
Okay.
Same way, that's why your dictionary API is blocking you. So they might have they might have some restrictions. Only from this URL or this client you need to access their data.
Okay, means so actually I can't actually use this API. I have to use some other API to achieve that functionality.
Yes, exactly. So if they might have given some configurations inside to access this. Okay, for example, you need to purchase them or you need to have access token in them. Okay, so those things then only they will allow to access that particular API. So we cannot do anything here. So only that it is restricted from that particular server.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. I will share you the routes again and until the MongoDB part. Desktop, node, Mongo, index.json. Yes. Okay. So I'll share you this one. Just give a minute. Routes and other things. So compress the items. And this is going to be your node with Mongo. Okay. So I have shared it. And okay, what is the error that was throwing you, or it is not working? What is the reason?
Sir, can I share my screen?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I will stop sharing.
Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes, yes. I think
Yeah.
NodeMan is working.
Here, if I change anything like this, it's not work.
Okay.
It-
There is two things running there, right? So can you come this another node here?
Okay, I close this.
What is that? Okay. Now can you try saving it?
Okay, yeah, I saved.
Yeah, now it's working, right?
But it not display. Console is not displaying. If I did any update here, again I want to again I go restart my terminal, sir.
Okay. I think it's restarting. Okay. Can you go to the any file and save it? Or try here itself. So try here itself. Try saving anything here. Again, try anything. Any other log? Yeah, it is restarting. So restarting due to changes, but why is there no log?
If I close this one, again I restart. It display.
Okay, can you exit this in your command prompt here? No, don't use delete there. Okay, try it. Okay, try. So kill the terminal and try it in your command prompt.
I don't know how to go in D drive.
Okay, go to that particular folder. In your just go open it in the file explorer.
Yeah.
Okay, so which is the thing here? Post app
Yeah.
server. Yeah, open that. Can you right click here? So right click on anywhere here. There should be open in command prompt.
No.
Okay, can you click on the top? You have the navigation here, right? Yeah, CMD. Just type CMD and enter. Yes, someone mentioned in the comments. Okay.
Before.
No, just remove them and try open like CMD.
Enter.
Enter. Yes. So now run your application. So npm start. Okay, now try it. But it is saying restarting, but it is not showing on a message.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, the same issue comes for everyone, or is it happening only for Windows? I'm not sure. Is it happening for everyone? Did you guys try it? It's working fine. Okay. Okay, what you do is you try writing your code. Okay, so see that the changes happening as soon as you do. Okay, so ignore the locks. At least the application is restarting, right? So try with that. If there is your application is restarting at all, okay, then we'll see what happens. Okay.
I tried if I add any.
Okay, what you do? Okay, what you do is change the 3001 to 3002. Yeah, there. So now see. Okay, try it. Open the localhost 3002 in your browser. Okay, your port is running. So what happened? What when you gave 3002?
Loading.
Okay, but port is started. Yeah, but port is working. Okay, so seems like I just not restarting at all for you. Okay, go to the command prompt. No, it should work. It still says restarting, but so I will share my screen. See here now. So I think your system is slow. I will show it here. So how it should be is, see here. I'm just doing save here. Okay. So it is still in this stage. Okay. So then it should start with your starting Node.js, and then only log should be coming. Okay. So it is triggering your process, but it is not starting your Node.js part. It is not going to the next part at all. So, okay, it might be in your machine. Okay, maybe your machine is slow. Okay. So let's see. So, but it is working for everyone, right? So, okay, then it's a configuration in your machine. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is a RAM issue in your system, maybe. So that's why it's not triggering. Only this process is happening. This is not happening at all. Next, so once it triggers Node.js, then only this should happen. Your log will be coming. It's stuck into this particular stage itself.
Yes, sir.
That's
What
why
should I do?
maybe like you need to upgrade your machine. So you need to upgrade your RAM, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yes. That's it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. And yes, thank you guys. And here is the feedback form. I missed to check. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.